Commander Zeth-7 had seen many species join the Galactic Defense Academy over his 3-decade career. The proud Karathi with their honor-bound warrior culture. The methodical Vex with their calculated approach to conflict. The peaceful Dalari who reluctantly learned warfare to protect their colonies. But humans were different. They were the first species to require a special orientation session. Today, we'll be reviewing historical combat footage from various member worlds. Zeth announced to his mixed species class of 47 cadets. We'll start with humanity's recent conflicts to understand their tactical approaches. The classroom fell silent as the holographic display activated. 3 human cadets, Anderson, Kim, and Okafor, shifted uncomfortably in their seats. They knew what was coming. The first footage showed the Siege of Stalingrad 1942. Zeth had chosen it as an example of defensive strategy. The alien cadets watched in fascination as human forces held a ruined city against overwhelming odds, fighting building by building, room by room. Then came the part that made Cadet XYPH-9 of the Ethereal Collective drop his stylus. Human soldiers, surrounded and cut off from supplies, were not retreating. Instead, they were eating grass, boiling leather, and continuing to fight with ammunition scavenged from corpses. When their rifles ran out of bullets, they used bayonets. When the bayonets broke, they used entrenching tools. When those were lost, they fought with broken glass and bare hands. "This is normal human behavior?" whispered Cadet Veltor, her reptilian features pale with shock. The human cadets nodded grimly. The footage continued. The Pacific Theater. Iwo Jima. Marines advancing across beaches under withering fire, knowing that 7 out of 10 wouldn't survive the landing, and still moving forward. The camera captured one Marine, his arm shattered by shrapnel, using his functioning hand to pull the pins from grenades with his teeth. Half the Dalari cadets had already stood up to leave. "Wait," Zeth called after them. "This is important tactical study. We understand tactics, Commander," Cadet Flo Singer replied, her melodious voice trembling. "What we don't understand is why they kept fighting when logic said they should surrender." Anderson, one of the human cadets, spoke up quietly. "Because surrender wasn't an option. Not when our people were counting on us." Next came footage from Vietnam. The Siege of Khe Sanh. 77 days of constant bombardment, with human defenders so low on supplies they were rationing water by the spoonful. The alien cadets watched in horrified fascination as humans continued fighting while suffering from diseases, malnutrition, and psychological trauma that would have incapacitated most species. The breaking point came when the display showed a human medic running across open ground under heavy fire to reach wounded comrades. He was hit twice, kept crawling, reached the wounded soldiers, and continued treating them while using his own body as a shield. Cadet Tijwss of the Karathi, warriors born and bred, stood abruptly. I need to reconsider my career path." By the time they reached footage of human special forces operations, soldiers moving through swamps for days without sleep, surviving on insects and rainwater, carrying wounded teammates for miles through hostile territory. 17 cadets had quietly submitted their resignation forms. "I don't understand," Commander Zeth said during the break, addressing the 3 human cadets who remained calm throughout. "These are your own species conflicts. Doesn't this footage disturb you?" Kim shook her head. "This is just Tuesday for humans, sir. We haven't even gotten to the really intense stuff yet." "Really intense?" Zeth's mandibles clicked nervously. "World War I trench warfare, the Eastern Front, urban combat in Fallujah," Okafor listed casually. "Oh, and the time during the Korean War when a single human held off an entire division for 3 days using only a machine gun and pure stubbornness. The afternoon session was worse. Footage of human pilots flying damaged aircraft into enemy positions rather than ejecting safely. Soldiers charging machine gun nests with nothing but rifles and determination. Tank crews fighting from burning vehicles until the ammunition exploded around them. The final straw came when they showed documentation of human resistance movements. Civilians, teachers, farmers, shopkeepers, who picked up weapons and fought professional armies using nothing but improvised explosives and unbreakable will. Cadet Rex Alpha of the militant destroyer caste stood up, his massive frame trembling. Commander, with respect, my species conquered 12 worlds through superior firepower and tactical brilliance. But we conquered them because they eventually surrendered when faced with overwhelming odds. Humans. He paused, looking at the footage of a human grandmother teaching children to make improvised weapons. Humans don't seem to understand the concept of overwhelming odds. By the end of the day, 23 of the 47 cadets had withdrawn from the military program. The remaining alien students sat in stunned silence, staring at their human classmates with a mixture of respect and terror. Commander Zeth dismissed the class early. As the students filed out, he heard fragments of whispered conversations. They fight like the universe itself is trying to kill them. How do you defeat something that simply refuses to die? Remind me never to invade Earth. The next day, academy enrollment from other species dropped by 37%. But applications for diplomatic positions increased dramatically. As one ethereal collective official noted in his report, if humans fight their own species with such intensity, perhaps it's better to keep them as friends.